Hey, Grace House Churches. My name is Josh. Hopefully you have enjoyed dinner, and now we can talk about Ephesians chapter 3. So in the past few chapters, we've seen Paul pray for us, preach to us, help us understand what happened in the gospel, that we've been vertically healed, now we're horizontally healed. And in chapter 3, there's a teaching that he wants us to understand. And so it was a little bit of mental calories this Sunday because we're trying to understand a sentence it's just heavy and hard to get your mind around. And Paul's saying there was a mystery revealed to me. And the whole purpose of this letter is to tell you what the mystery is. And then he gives us the mystery. And he says this: the mystery is that the nations are now flowing into the unsearchable riches of Christ through the gospel. So that's the sentence. And that mystery was revealed. And in some ways, he's like, I should have known all along. Like Genesis 3 said this was going to happen. Genesis 12 showed this was going to happen. And so we looked at this 10 picture graph that showed like humans getting to the Tower of Babel, and then we were separated, and then God chose Abraham and created Israel to be a blessing to all nations. But then in the cross, all of these nations are brought together and reconciled and made possible for them to then get access to God. And this created the church. And so new humanity in the church then offers all these different people groups a chance to live in unity because we've been healed. And when we do that, the text says, we put God's manifold wisdom on display to the powers. Now the powers, when Paul says that, are like cosmic, influential, demonic, spiritual warfare. So not like one demon messing with you. Think of more like broad cultural evil and brokenness. And so the powers want us to overly identify with something and then take that identity and subject others to it and basically feel superior. And that happens with heritage and tribe and politics and money, all kinds of things. The powers are influencing us at a sociological level, at a society level. And what the text is saying is that in the church, we don't live like that. The powers don't have power. We have a spirit that's greater than the spirits. And when we live in that counter way, we put God's wisdom on display. And so what the text offered is two things: that God's manifold wisdom is on display when we proclaim the gospel to the nations and we protect unity in the body. And so getting the message of the gospel to all nations so that they can have the unsearchable riches of Christ is how we put the gospel on display. And then when we live in unity, that is another way that we put the gospel on display. And this is often not easy and not fun for a couple of reasons. One, spiritual warfare is way more fun when it's like the devil's messing with you and you and the devil are in some sort of fight. But what the Bible was teaching is that this is more broad, influential, that the most demonic thing, this is strong, but stay with me, the most demonic thing happening in your life, the most spiritual warfare happening in your life is that unaddressed disunity in your house church. The unaddressed Christian problem is the powers that play in the church, because that's not the design. And the unaddressed, the spiritual darkness of the world is that we as a church aren't mobilizing the gospel to the nations. That's where the powers wants to overpower us. And so the text said we can put God's wisdom on display, we can put God's glory on display by living on mission and being unified. And so lastly, I tried to land the plane by saying what's offered here is actually really beautiful. It's not just a theory. It's that in the gospel, you get belonging and meaning. You can belong to a unified group where you don't have to perform, and you get meaning. You can participate in a mission that's literally cosmic, like Star Wars level mission, defeating the darkness. And so as you guys talk about this, can you talk about it in a way that shows that unity and shows that kindred spirit as we live on mission together? Because even in the conversation you're about to have, in some ways you're embodying the wisdom of God to the powers. And so hopefully you can have this conversation joyfully.